How we doing? Hey, Jess.
My voice is like so bad. They had me here from 11 to 5, and then I did the costume contest. I didn't make it past the costume contest.
So who won last night?
You know what? There's multiple categories, so there's multiple people, but somebody did an amazing a duo costume. You know that animated movie 9, where it's like those dolls and they did amazing 9 costumes. I'd never seen anybody do a 9 costume. They were really nice. They deserve to win. They got the big prize.
Cool. Now, wasn't Doria judging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were hanging on stage.
I
at
did the
least.
show yesterday. Had a good time.
Oh,
was it?
yeah.
Yeah, the day before. Well, one of these days. Yeah.
It was fun. It was a party. It was nice. It was a little crowded up on stage, but I think everybody had a good time. So, when I started reading about you, to find out more stuff, than I knew, I found out that you were in Playgirl. But
Yeah.
being in Playgirl isn't what interested me. It was, it was your pseudonym,
He was the what?
Andrew Cooper III.
Right. Yeah.
Where did you decide on the name Andrew Cooper III?
Well, I didn't really decide on anything.
Cooper III.
It was, first of all, this goes back to 1975. And I was, Burt Reynolds was a fan.
You're still looking pretty good, man.
But pretty good, yeah.
I hope I hold up as well.
Yeah. But, I saw Burt Reynolds did it, and I said, hey, I'm not crazy about that, but I think I'll try it. I think he did it for Cosmopolitan,
Yeah.
So I did it as a joke, and, excuse me, the editors changed the whole story. I think I was a billionaire or something from Palm Beach, But it didn't really.
Well, that explains
didn't really
Andrew
help.
Cooper
it really
the
didn't.
Third.
What was that?
I said that explains the name.
Yeah, that's right. That was all made up by the editor-publisher. But it really didn't help. It really didn't hurt. It was just it was part of my modeling career,
But it led to very good things, so, we're grateful.
Well, yeah.
So one of the other things that I came across, which really kind of blew my mind, because I thought I knew every comic book movie, every movie that was based on a comic under the sun. Apparently, you played the Spirit.
Yes, I was the Spirit.
I didn't even know that there was a Spirit movie prior to the recent one.
Yeah. Well, it was a TV pilot for series.
Oh, okay.
In 1985.
So it never saw the
for
light of
Warner
day?
Bros. Yeah. Well, it came out as a movie of the week,
Oh, okay.
but they expected big things to happen. But just like any other business transaction or project, it just didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, it was super interesting. I was like, I'd like to see that. I got to try to track it down. And then you've gone into corporate security or
Yeah. Well, executive protection. Yeah.
sure. So was your thinking like everybody's going to want to hire Flash Gordon? Like I do security now. I'll help you out.
So that's funny. Well, I was a Marine before I was an actor. I was
Okay.
a Marine in the early 70s. So, I got married and 5 kids, and the phone stopped ringing there for a while. And my wife said, you need to go outside and don't come back till you have a job. So I thought, well, what can I do besides make movies and, wait for the phone to ring? And I made a few calls, a couple of guys that were working for the DOD, Department of Defense, and the Secret Service, and the State Department. And I said, what do I need to do? And they said, you need to get back into training. You need to get all these certifications. So I spent about 6 months. I did that. And next thing I knew, I was in San Diego running the cross-border security operations in Mexico. I've been doing that for 8 years.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. And do your clients like just lose their minds when you
Well,
walk up and they're like,
it's a good question, but funny enough, most people don't recognize you because they're not in the business. They don't see a lot of movies. They're more corporate. And but the good thing is I was always able to prove myself as a security professional before they found out, who I was.
So I'm going to go to questions in a second, but I've got one more question for you. Just being this close to you, I'm going, what are we doing here? Are we working out? Are we eating well? I need to learn from you.
Yeah. Well, we got to have a lot of kids first.
Okay, well, I've got 2 so far.
Okay, how old are they?
Logan,
Yeah.
that's my daughter. In her handwriting on my wrist.
Oh, cool.
And this is my son Cassidy, but he can't write his name yet, so it's empty.
Well, what are their ages?
5 and almost 2.
Okay. Well, I have 5. I have 3 boys.
I'm shooting for 4, I think.
So my boys are 30 and 17 and 14. So we have a challenge. they've been challenging Daddy for a long time on who could do the most push-ups and pull-ups. So they still cannot beat me combined. Combined,
Oh,
they
that's
can't
not
beat me.
fair.
You know, and then of course my daughters are athletic. I have a 26-year-old and a 12-year-old, and
So you're still a legit dad. You got a little girl at
oh,
home,
yeah, that's yeah.
probably raising hell at 12.
So yeah, but you know they're all athletes, and we challenge each other all the time. So it's fun.
Yeah. So do you work out regularly, or do you like to do more
Yeah,
practical
I mean it's a
sports
lot
stuff?
of maintenance. I don't do a lot of heavy weights. You know, it's just maintenance. It's you know the pull-up bar, push-ups, and light weights, and it's all circuit stuff. You know. So,
And one more question, because I mean, what do you eat? Are you a
well, I did drop
big
70
meat guy
pounds
or
about
vegetarian?
about 2 years ago. I did drop 70 pounds. You know, it was all about eliminating. You know, I love bread, but I wasn't about to stop eating bread. I just changed the type of bread. You know, so I went from white
I
flour.
like whole wheat.
Yeah, well, I went from white flour to flourless.
Flourless.
Ezekiel bread is a big.
Take this down,
I should be
everyone.
the spokesperson for Ezekiel bread, but it's a flourless bread. You have to toast it, you know, for it to taste good. But it's got the lentils and the millet and the beans, but no flour whatsoever.
Oh, I gotta go for the flourless bread. All right, guys, we're gonna open the floor to questions. We have a microphone right over there. Where you see our red shirt lady over there, and we've got another one right over there. And first come, first serve. My lady. Oh, I don't know if that mic's on. Is that mic hot? Do we have that monitor going? Yay, thank you.
Do you listen to the Flash Gordon song every morning when you wake up?
You should.
Well, not on my own, but it just happens to appear somewhere outside the window. Somebody always seems to have it on if they see me. You know, they just hum it or sing it to me.
Hi, I know you portrayed a football player in your Flash movie, but I actually wanted to know if you played football in high school.
Yes, I played high school ball. I played for the Marine Corps. And then after the Marines, I decided to play pro ball for Seattle. But a friend, and a friend said, well, before you try out for the Seahawks, maybe try out for their farm team. So I played for the Burien Flyers for a season and decided I need to do something else. So that's when I read an article about Clint Eastwood, and I decided that he sort of inspired me. And I decided, well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try acting for a while. And that was...
Worked out.
Yeah, 1976, yeah.
Thank you. Hi. So I was going to ask the question that he was asking, but I was going to ask, what position did you play?
Well, I was the smallest tight end in the league. You know, at 6'3", I'm still 6'3", but I think...
I'm shrinking.
I'm trying to think of what my weight was. I was probably the same weight, you know, 225. But now, you look at the tight ends nowadays, these boys are huge. 6'6", 6'7", 260, and fast. So I was primarily used for blocking.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a huge fan of yours. How did the process start to get you into the movie Ted? I'm a big fan of Seth MacFarlane, and I think that was one of the best parts of the movie with you in it.
Yeah, thank you. He called me. He called me out of the blue. I had not met him before, and he said, he said, Sam, I've been a fan of yours since I was eight or nine, and you inspired me. The movie you did inspired me to be a creative guy. So he said, I have this script called Ted, about a teddy bear, and why don't you come in and meet the guys and see if this is something you want to do. So that's what we did.
Boom.
Like most people thought you pretty much stole the show in Ted. That was awesome. I was wondering if there's any roles that you were offered that you maybe turned down that you maybe regretted later on.
No, not really that I could think of. There were a couple of TV roles, right when I started having my kids. I decided not to do it. Maybe I was a little bit too much letter of the law about it. I probably would have changed, probably made a different decision. But yeah, there weren't too many big movie roles that I really turned down. Oh, actually, I turned down. What did I do? Let me see. The Sword and the Sorcerer. I don't know if you ever saw that, but I think, who was the actor? Who was the actor who that you would Matt somebody? That was years ago. But I probably should not have turned that down because it ended up doing very well. Sure.
Hey, man. So I'm a dad, a new dad. I got a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old. And it's pretty
Congrats.
obvious. Thank you. It's pretty obvious they're going to be big guys like me. So now I'm 36, and it is really hard to keep up with my 3.5-year-old. So I was going to ask, what do you do to encourage your kids to work out with you and stay in shape with you and continue that as they're growing up?
Well, I mean, you have to be the example. That's all. Just do it, you know. And I don't, you know, as a dad, I'm old-fashioned. I mean, I'm a former Marine, but I'm still, you know, wide open for ideas. But as far as parents, my wife and I, at a certain age, everything, it's non-negotiable. You know, I mean, it's non-negotiable. So, I mean, obviously, if you're working out with a 3-year-old, come on now, do some more push-ups. What's wrong with you? That's a little much.
He can do almost
you know,
as many as me, man.
You know, I remember when they were young. Well, when my daughter was young, I was coaching her in baseball. You know, I just finished coaching my boys in Pop Warner football. So I had my 6-year-old daughter, you know, with the little soft baseball, right, with all the other girls her age, and I was out there trying to treat the young girls like they were football players. Like, and a couple of dads said, "Hey, Sam, easy, man, easy. Come on, don't you see you're scaring the girls?" But so I've had to tone it down for obviously the daughters and the sons. But you know, whatever we do, even if we tell them, don't do that, if they see us doing it, they're going to do it anyway. So whatever we put our hand to, good or bad, they're going to follow that and duplicate that. So, you know, just keep things fun. If I had to do things over again, I would make it a lot more fun for my children. And I'm a granddaddy for the first time 3 weeks ago.
Congrats.
So thanks, yeah. So, yeah, I'd say, you know, as dads, we need to lighten up a little bit more, you know. But when it comes to instilling the right values and ideas, especially our kids nowadays, no matter what age, there's a lot of influences out there, and I'm sorry to say a lot of these influences are not right. I mean, even my 17-year-old in the house, you know, we still monitor his texting, the laptop, everything. I'm telling you, you have to.
Good
You
for
really
you.
do. You really do.
Well, great. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear the villain from Flash Gordon, do you think I have to save the universe once again?
Oh, it's funny. But you know, my children, if you ask my kids, you know, they think probably, if they were to talk about their dad, they say, "Oh, he's so strict," you know, and he thinks he's funny, but he's not funny. But they'd also say that he's very anal about safety and security, and I am. And I feel daily that, I mean, for instance, right now, if something went down, anything, natural disaster, earthquake, fire, whatever, some bad guy walked in here and started doing things that were not right, I'm telling you right now, I'd be the first one to jump on that. And so I'm always instilling my kids, be ready for anything, because nobody else is going to do it. You're the go-to guy. You're the go-to, and my daughters, you're the go-to girl. Don't depend on, you know, first responders, especially an example like Katrina. But if something went down, there's nothing to think about except you're the one that needs to take charge. And if it means to act like a superhero for a couple of minutes, and you have to do it. That's just in my nature, being a former Marine, and my dad was former Army.
So I wouldn't go messing around behind him or anything, because he just might turn around and like take your head off. I'm evil. Wow.
Yeah.
Joke's killing me. I actually thought.
But it's a great, as far as fighting, I found over the years, in my early years, I didn't get in a whole lot of fights because I actually broke up more fights than actually fought. And you know, just you could talk your way out of it, especially if you're in an environment like a bar scene where a lot of people like to drink and fight, you know, I'd tell them 3 things that kind of shocked them. You know, when they would call me out, I'd say, look, you know, we could fight, but, you know, we're going to probably, you or me, go to the hospital and get surgery, whatever, and that'd be a nightmare. I said, how about I either buy you a drink, or we can pray, or we can arm wrestle. So when I say pray, that would shock them, and they'd say, well, what does that mean? Or buy a drink would work a lot, but yeah, usually you don't really have to fight unless it's self-defense, unless somebody else has actually thrown the first punch. So I don't encourage fighting, you know, because somebody's going to get hurt really bad. And now I'm older, so if I have to fight, believe me, it's not going to be okay, you punch me, I punch you. I'm taking you down, and you're never going to get back up again. Because I'm 60 years old almost, so it's not going to be, okay, cardio time. No. 1 or 2 punches, elbows, knees, it's over. It's done. Okay.
I'm too old for this.
It's usually a headbutt. But and let me just say this: in all my self-defense issues or encounters, it was always a headbutt that I implemented. It worked every time, every single time. I'm telling you right now, a headbutt works every single. And you want to get them right here on the bridge of the nose, and it's over. Okay.
I'll take that advice. Sam Jones told me how to kill a guy. I mean, to beat up a guy.
By the way, Sam, big fan of the Highwaymen back in the day. I was actually one of those guys that's like, I wanted that show to keep going. And you had a lot of good guest starring roles in a lot of things. You've actually worked with a lot of science fiction actors that have, like Claudia Christensen, Jane Bader. My question is, to lead up to what's coming on later today, you had a great guest starring role in SG-1. As a matter of fact, it's probably one of the more memorable things. How much fun did you have on that set, and were you unfortunately a victim of any of the practical jokes that took place?
Did Christopher Judge get you with the farts? Yeah. We heard all about him yesterday.
That's funny.
They're
That's
very
funny.
smelly.
It was a great show to do. Probably the most difficult character that I've ever. Hey, you want to sit up here? Bring him up here. Come on. Get him up here. I bet you he'll be. Where is he? Raise your hand. Bring that little baby up here. Is that. Where? Oh, is that the baby I was crying that I was holding before?
Oh, we're
Is that the
hearing
one
it
I was
through the
kissing?
monitor.
Where is
That's
it?
why it sounds like it. I keep looking over here going,
Oh,
there's
I
no
see
baby.
the baby.
The baby's
Do you want me
getting
to
picked up
hold
by
your
the
baby?
mic.
Because I either quieten him down or I just shocked the you know what out of him. So they're either going to be, or, oh, is that the same one I was kissing before? It is, right? Come on, oh, it is, right? Wait.
Now she's spotlight. She's like, I'm quiet now.
Yeah, come on up here. Come on, you want to talk? You want to say something? This is the same baby I kissed before, right? Come up here, yeah. Now you're going to be in the spotlight. Come here, come on.
You see her on the screen? Sweetheart, you see? Look up there.
Okay, yeah, look on the TV. Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead. So we're talking about,
I've been upstaged by a child again.
Dude, I'm learning so much from this guy. This is awesome.
So you talked about Jane and Claudia, but what was the specific?
When you worked on Stargate.
Oh, yeah.
You had actually, it was really good character, great background, and the cast that works so well together. I was wondering if you, by chance, were one of the guest stars that got, unfortunately, practical joked by either Chris Judge or even Richard Dean Anderson, or perhaps were caught in the middle of some of their more fiber epic, loaded kind of combat.
No, but they really were. They really opened themselves up for me and it helped me a great deal. And that particular episode was the most difficult character I had ever had to portray, because as an actor, I like to ad lib and improvise, and you couldn't do that there. The language had to be precise, and I like to learn my dialogue by blocking. You know, where I'm sitting, where I'm standing. And they threw a lot of things at me, I think on purpose, maybe that was it. But I learned a big lesson about really being prepared as an actor. And those guys were very helpful, very helpful. And like you said, it was one of the best episodes as far as response.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
with all the fans. It really was.
I was like, oh, please say you're going to come back. I was like, gotta have
Yeah.
to come back.
Yeah.
After the headbutting story, you really think they're practical joking, Sam?
Once.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah. Chris thought about it, and he was like, "You know what? Oh, you're being sweet to me."
Okay, so who's next?
First of all, I'd like to say that you're just one of my childhood heroes, and it's an honor to talk to you. And second of all, what was it like to work with Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, a funny guy. I mean, as far as the director, he was prepared every day. I mean, he wasn't telling jokes all day, but he kept a smile on his face, and he was completely prepared. You know, 10 years had passed since I've been on a movie set. You know, I did a lot of TV between that, but this generation of movie making has changed quite a bit. So it took a little while for me to get used to it. You know, in the old days, you know, if Jesse's the director and I'm the actor, I'd be here and he'd be standing right where he is, right next to the camera. Nowadays they have a thing called
Isn't there a crack? There's a crack. Right?
yeah. But nowadays they have what they call video village, where the camera's still there, I'm still here, the actor, but the director is out in the hallway under a little canopy, right, of monitors with the headphones on, and that was a bit, I didn't like it. So I'm mic'd up so he could hear me, but I told Seth, I said, Seth, give me a little earpiece or something. I need to hear you, you know, if you're not going to, I needed to hear him anyway, because he was giving the lines of the teddy bear. You know, he was portraying the teddy bear. So that worked out for me, you know. But I kind of like it when the director's right here next to me. Things change. You just have to adapt.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh,
Another baby. Bring
I
him
got
up.
room for another. Come
Don't
on.
worry, we've got 2 knees.
That'll be
He's
cool.
very effective.
That'll be cool. Get that other baby up here right now.
All right, the baby's scared of you, Sam. One success story.
We'll say hello.
How you doing? Say hi.
What's her name? Davy.
Daisy.
Daisy. That's right. That's right. Daisy. Say Daisy.
Hi, Daisy. Do the thing where you pointed at something that wasn't there again.
Hello, Sam. I wanted to ask what it was like working with Queen in the movie Flash Gordon, like, because the soundtrack was based off what you were doing in the movie. I want to know what that was like. And also, since you played football, I want to know if you're into, like, other contact sports like rugby and stuff.
No, rugby's a cool game. I got a lot of respect for rugby players. I really do. I never played rugby. Yeah, I like watching UFC, you know, and a good boxing match. But as far as I'm sorry, what was the first part?
What was it like working with Queen?
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, as actors, we don't really get to meet the musicians, because we do our project, we shoot the movie, and they take the footage, put it into a studio, and the band comes in there and they look at it, and now they start creating the music and the lyrics. But unfortunately, I didn't get to meet them. You know.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
Hi, just wanted to say I'm a huge fan, and thanks for coming down and doing Comic-Con. You're one of the biggest reasons why I'm here. And just wanted to ask, throughout your career, what is the biggest thing or the funnest thing, the most thing that you enjoyed the most that you did, and what's next?
Good question. Well, next I have a project slate that I've written, a couple of movies, a couple of TV shows that I would love to see this content and these storylines get out there. I think it's the kind of heroes that America wants to root for once again. And Seth asked me to do Ted 2, starting in the spring. So we're looking forward to that. And as far as what I enjoyed, had the most fun, well, Flash Gordon was great. You know, I talked about this during the screening. I didn't get to enjoy making the movie that much because it was so huge. You know, hey. Yeah, see, she speaks. Okay. $32 million budget in 1979. So if you start doing the comparisons, what is that, 200 million, maybe more? So I was thrown from set to set, rehearse this, do that, learn how to use the bullwhip, learn how to do, this fight scene. So I really didn't, you want to get down, Daisy? Go ahead. We really did, hold on, let me hold your hand.
This was a success story. She was crying a few minutes ago.
We didn't really, there you go, give it for Daisy, come on now. All right. So on a budget that big, and as young as I was, 24, you just, you can get really overwhelmed. And I knew the enormity of it all, but I wasn't about to let that be bigger than my responsibility, what I was tasked and hired to do. So I just focused on being prepared as an actor. A lot of my directions sometimes, and it wasn't Michael's fault, but it was just, Sam, stand on your mark and get your line out before the explosion, and make sure you move before the fire comes your way, stuff like that. But, yeah, yes. But, we had a screening Friday night at the Rosewood, which was incredible. And I've only seen, that was probably the 7th or 8th time I've seen Flash Gordon all the way through. So now, at my older age, as I get to sit there and watch it, I go, oh yeah, now I appreciate it. I enjoy watching it now. And, but unfortunately back then it was, they said, Sam, you got to go see the new set we built, the city of Arborea. And we spent $1 million on that. And in 1979, you go, wow. And so I walk on and I look at it and go, well, look at this, man. And then all of a sudden, 3 seconds later, I'm pulled away to do something else. So it was as though I was almost teased the whole time. Look at this, be part of this, but you don't have time to appreciate it now. Go focus on what you need to focus on. And then the Highwayman TV series, we were outdoors in Arizona for 6 months. I loved it. It was wonderful.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Can you tell me about the time you got singed? I said singed. You said, yeah, I got singed.
Yeah,
so when did that happen?
The time we'd taken over the warship, and I was during the wedding scene. I was getting ready to crash the warship into, I said my goodbyes to Voltan and everybody. And they were, we were taking on, I was taking on fire, real fire. And the whole console in front of me was ablaze. But I was, they said, Sam, we only have one take with this because of the special effects. And it takes 5 hours to prep it, so, this is it. So he said, stay in the seat as long as you can. So until I smelled the hair burning on my arms is when I got up. But it was enough.
How long was that?
Probably was only, whatever, 30 seconds, from the time it started to the time my hair started to burn. But that was enough, that was enough, that was enough time.
Sure, that's fine.
But as an actor, and I kind of used to pride myself on a lot of stunts. I do my own, not to take away from this, I do a lot of my own fight scenes. But in Ted, I got hurt, I was so looking forward to doing the big fight scene, with the crazy, the Asian guy next door, that when he stuck his head through the wall and then he stuck the knife through, remember, in Ted? I went to kick it, which wasn't planned. I went to kick the knife, and I hours, I had stretched earlier, but about 4 or 5 hours had gone by, so I forgot to stretch again, and I snapped my hamstring at the beginning of the scene, at the beginning. So I couldn't do all that fight scene that went on. The stunt double did it. He did a good job, but I
didn't notice. I assumed it was you.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Did anybody else notice?
And how about that hairdo, right? As the script said, inexplicably, Sam J. Jones shows up at the party wearing the same hairdo from 33 years earlier. And that was a $10,000 wig, by the way. 10 grand for that puppy.
You have it on like a little mantle in the house?
No, it's I didn't know.
The 10 grand wig?
No, it's what the movie did,
You should have got to take that home.
Yeah, should have got that. But this is a good wig right here, right? See, it holds well, you know. Yeah.
You got a nice little blonde sheen about it, you know. It's flash enough.
Yeah. Well, that's more silver, I think. All right, Jesse. Yeah.
I'm being kind, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam. So I know the character in Ted was probably a little bit different than what you were in real life. So did you have problems as a father explaining to, especially your younger kids, the character you portrayed in Ted compared to who you are in real life?
Well, my kids won't be able to see Ted till they're 35 years old. So, no, actually, my seventh, well, he was 15 when he saw it. I told him not to, but, you know, he said he's going to see a movie. He didn't tell me which one. But, you know, it's funny about that. The script called for me to do this long speech, page, I think a page and a half, 2 pages, on the value of doing this certain narcotic, right? I told Seth, I said, look, you hired me to play myself, but it's more of a parody, it's more of a spoof, I understand that. But Flash Gordon cannot do this. He can't talk about the drugs and all that and the value of and the goodness of doing it. He just can't do that. He said, well, that's what Universal wants. There's nothing I can do about it. So my wife and I prayed about it. I said, I can't do this, you know. So we showed up on the set the next morning to shoot it. And Seth told me, he said, oh, I just got a call from the studio, and they deleted that entire speech. I said, really? Well, there you go. There's answer prayer. So we talked about what can we do, but it's all perception. Then he wanted me to, you know, take part in what Mark was doing. And I said, look, I'll do a couple of shots, you know, on camera, but I'm not going to do anything else on camera. He says, well, you know, give us something when you come out of the bathroom. I said, okay. And I thought, the camera's rolling, what can I do? Oh, my nose itches. I have a scratch. Okay. So I did that, and everybody perceived what they thought Flash Gordon did. You see? So that was my way of...
Less is more.
Yeah.
We were imagining.
Yes, but it's all perception. I mean, I don't condone. I used to do that, obviously. I mean, I partied a lot, didn't do much of that. But mainly partied a lot, drank a lot in those early years, and thank God I don't really need it anymore, you know. I get, you know, when I come home to the wife and kids, that's my high right now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for coming, Sam. In Flash Gordon, were there any talks about doing a sequel? Because the way the movie ended, you could have went a couple different ways with a sequel. And also, second part of the question I have is did you guys ever, or yourself, keep any of the props from Flash Gordon?
You know, I should have, you know. But let me tell you what I do have. Seth gave me the replica rocket cycle that was made for Ted. That they made an exact replica of the rocket cycle that was made for Flash Gordon. I think they spent about $50,000 on it to make it, so it's authentic, and I have that.
Wait, that's like the cutaway where they're just like, yay.
Yeah, Mark and I are on it. Mark and I, in the flashback sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that, and it's actually, it looks small, but it's actually big. It's 12 feet long. It's 8 feet wide.
That's better than the wig.
Yeah, 7 feet high, and so it's kind of a cool little collectible. I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question?
Sequel. Was there any talks about doing a Flash
Yes,
Gordon
for
sequel?
years. You know, Stephen Summers optioned it, and I think they only have a couple of years. If they don't pick up the option, it goes back to King Features. And I talked with Neil Moritz, who did quite a few of the Fast and Furious movies, and he, up until I think last year, he still has the rights to Flash Gordon, the option to make a movie. So he hired Breck Eisner and Steven D'Souza to write the script. So it's in development right now. It's been in development for a year.
Wasn't it originally planned as a trilogy?
Well, I was told 6.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was under the assumption
Yeah.
from the beginning it was meant to be a big franchise, and for whatever reason it didn't go.
Yeah. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to being part of the next Flash Gordon.
It'll be great. Thanks.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Highwayman. Are we ever going to see a DVD release or any kind of release of that show?
Yeah, you know, Glenn Larson still has the rights, and he called me a couple months ago, and he's talking about bringing it back, talking about it. Matter of fact, there's a couple of his projects. You guys know who Glenn Larson is? He did Magnum PI, did Knight Rider, BJ and the Bear. I mean, just a whole list, right? What are some others he did? Galactica, right? What else? Anyway, he's actually bringing back, he did Manimal. Yeah. He's bringing back, he wants to bring back a couple of his old series.
As a show?
I think Manimal as a feature, and possibly The Highwayman as a series, I believe.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, this is nerve-wracking for me. I'm a huge fan, and I only have one request, and that's to see you do the Flash Gordon jump, man.
Okay.
Just to be able to actually see it with my own 2 eyes.
All right.
He's deciding.
Okay, you come over here and do 100 push-ups. I'll do the Flash Gordon jump.
Dude, I will.
Perfect push-up.
I will try my best to.
No, it's okay.
A good effort.
You don't have to do.
A
You
good
don't have to
effort.
do
Come
that.
on. Get over here.
You don't have to do.
Come on. But I want you to try to get 100.
You know, you just do 10 or 20.
No.
No, just
50. At least 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Do you want to see Sam Jones do the jump? Do you want to see the jump? Do you want to see the jump? You got to get to 50. Got to get to 50. No jump without 50. Keep it going. Keep it straight. Keep it straight. 32, 34, 35, 30.
Good.
Come on.
That's commitment, you guys. That's commitment.
Let's count down.
Come on.
13, 12. Come on, this is going to be 12.
No, you're good, man. You're
left.
good. Hey, come on, let's give it up
You're
for
too
him.
nice, Sam.
Yeah. Okay, you're good, man. You're good. All right. What's your name?
Brian.
This is Brian. Give it up for Brian. Or Ryan. Ryan with an R.
So, will
Wait
you
a minute,
give
Ryan,
him a
you know
jump?
what? Come here.
Ready?
We're going to do it together on 3, okay? All right, ready?
Wait, let me take a picture as you're in the air.
But before you call it out, Ryan, I want to tell you something right now. If I snap a muscle,
You can blame it on me.
I'm going to headbutt your ass, okay? So I'm not going to jump to my capacity because I am not stretched, okay? So we're just going to do the basic, as though that's the camera in the movie, right? Yeah. Where we jump up and, yeah, okay?
All right.
So the right hand, ready? Give us 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
I filmed it. See, I made you do push-ups, but I got you really close to Sam.
And I tell you, Ryan, you did, he did 40 or more than 40? 41, 42? And when's the last time you did 42 push-ups without stopping? Long time, right? See, there you go. Well, we should send that out as an exercise video to get inspired to do push-ups.
You're jumping with Sam Jones. 2.
So Sam, you did Flash Gordon 30 plus years ago, and obviously people recognize you as Flash. Are there any interesting stories of fans coming up on you?
Coming up on me. Easy, cowboy, easy.
He headbutts those
No, I
people
usually
in
see
the
them
nose.
coming up
Well,
on
that
me.
would
Yeah.
be interesting then, right? Headbutt
Yeah.
a fan.
You mean encounters,
Have
things
you
they
ever
ask me to sign?
accidentally attacked a fan?
Yeah.
Anything like that.
I'm trying to think. Maybe signing strange things. Some of the women wanted me to sign certain parts. I wouldn't do it. I mean, you can't do that. I think I signed a guy's arm that he went to a tattoo artist and had it tattooed over. I believe he told me he did. Anyway, he was going to. After I signed it, I wouldn't have done it.
I'll verify that after the
you did,
show.
yeah.
I'll find out if that's true.
But no, I mean, look, it doesn't, whatever the fans want to ask or require me that makes sense. I look at it like this. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys supporting myself and what I've done, you know, I mean, you guys pay the tickets at the box office. You come out here to the Comic Cons. It's wonderful. I mean, what would we be, us actors, if it wasn't for you guys? We'd just be, I'd just be trying to make my family members laugh, right?
And they don't think you're funny.
Yeah.
That's what
But there have been some, you know what I do, if things get sort of, if the atmosphere gets sort of strange, I may, you know, if it's a guy, I might say, hey, let's arm wrestle, you know. I like to do that at the table. I do that quite a bit, not a lot, but.
Do we have any good arm wrestlers here?
But
he wants to arm wrestle you. He was raising his hand. You totally committed. Get up here. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, if you want to arm wrestle for fun.
If you want to arm wrestle him.
For
go,
fun, you
yes,
can. No,
yes.
not,
Over the top. Come on. I'll be the model.
Whoa. Wait a minute, I met you before, right?
Wait,
What's your name?
What do they say it over the top?
RJ,
There's like a
okay.
ritual to this. Ready, go. All right, ready, one.
Wait, let me tell my secret.
Okay, secret.
Secret, you want to be, go ahead, give me your mic. You want to be able to turn your wrist into yourself as fast as you can and get me into you. Get me into your chest.
And then headbutt him right here. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
That's it, good.
Oh, and he's even making him feel good about it. Come on. What's your name so I can root for you? RJ, go RJ. RJ, 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 RJ. Come on. Come on, RJ. RJ, 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 RJ. He's working. He's sweating. You can't beat Flash Gordon.
Wow, that was pretty macho. RJ, how old are you? 12 years old. Come on, see that?
Panels are always better when you fight on stage.
Yeah, Sam, I was just curious if you have any political aspirations, because 2016, I would vote for you.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
Because you seem pretty well balanced, you know.
He does have a shine to him.
How do you answer that question? No, I don't. I don't want to run for office. I don't think there'd be an office left if I was to win. But you know, look. Here's what I do. You know, I go to vote. I kind of look at all the different angles and the values of people. Now, I didn't vote for Obama, but let me tell you something. I'm tired of one thing. I'm sick and tired of people disrespecting the office of the presidency. It doesn't matter if we disagree. It doesn't matter if we disagree with our mayor, our governor, a senator, or president. It doesn't matter if we disagree, but we better be very careful what we speak. We need to always respect that office, and that's what I do. My job, especially if I don't vote for somebody, is I always pray for them, that God will bring great advisors and counselors and leaders that are under the, for instance, Obama. That he'll start listening to great wisdom and great advice. That's my prayer. But for a lot of the, and I'm a conservative, but a lot of the conservative radio shows and TV shows, I don't jump on board with that nonsense and criticism. That does no good. That does no good for anybody. We need to respect the office that they are leading.
You said the magic word, respect, man.
But it doesn't mean we have to agree. You know.
Well said, man.
Doesn't mean we have to agree, but we still respect it. Cool.
We got only a couple minutes. We got like 2 minutes left. So this will probably be our last question, and it looks like it's worked out perfect.
I just had a question on being a fan of the 70s and the films. Have you ever thought of doing any films or have been approached by Quentin Tarantino?
I met him at the Saturn Awards. I was a presenter, I think it was in April, and he was cool. I mean, he came right up to me, and we were talking. And you know what's kind of cool about that? You go, oh, Quentin Tarantino, that we're talking, you know, and he approached me. Nobody's around, so at this point, you do not want to be interrupted by anybody else. So you know who came up to me and pulled me away from him was Wayne Brady, okay, which I just met, He said, Sam, I got to meet you, man. I've been a fan of yours. And I wanted to say, Wayne. And look, I'm talking. Could be making a deal right here. But, you know, you don't do that. And but it was kind of cool. I met, you know, Quentin and Brady, and then the star of Breaking Bad. Great guy. What's his name? Yes, Brian. Great guy. So all three of them were within a few, like 90 seconds. And I was like, no, let me finish my conversation here. Time out. It was great. But no, I've not been approached by him. You know, he just.
But there's some hope. There was a conversation.
But those seeds are planted.
Well, everybody, thank you for coming down and joining us. Sam, thank you for being here.
All right.